Emotional Intelligence, Part 3. It was more of a practical session. This month, we've been talking about emotional intelligence. We went practical last week, giving us a scenario of how to apply emotional intelligence in our day-to-day life. And that is the essence of this movement. We want to help you have a mind that is re-engineered so that once you are out there and we see you demonstrating, want to check, is this our member? Is it you behave differently from other people? Yeah. That is how we will know that the efforts being put in this movement is not wasted. And that's why we are giving you a practical session in which you find yourself being approached by a policeman. You know the policemen in Nigeria, what they do. How are you going to deal with this situation? A police officer stops you aggressively and says, "Park well, come down." There, who gave you this car? Meanwhile, you know your documents are complete and the officer is speaking disrespectfully. The question is, do you react emotionally because you are right? Do you insult him back? Do you escalate the situation? What is the emotional intelligence response that you will exhibit in this situation? And last week we got responses to this situation. And of course, as a re-engineered mind, you need to respond responsively by making sure that two wrongs don't make a right. You remain calmly, you greet, and your response will douse his agitation. You don't aggravate, you don't escalate his agitative approach from that question that was thrown to you. A second scenario is when a reckless driver nearly hits your car, then rolls down and shouts, if you know Sabi drive, back, even though he's clearly wrong. The question is, do you chase him? Do you insult him back? Is proving a point worth risking your peace or safety? There are some people that if the person decides to go, maybe he bashes you, some will leave where they are going to and run after that person, and in the process, some have ended up hitting a public pole or even hitting somebody else. So as a re-engineered mind, your response in this situation. Now, if you look at it critically, they say nearly hit your car. What I always tell people is that, thank God you are even alive to be engaged in altercation. What if you have died? What if it is worse off than just nearly, not even bashing your car? So why not let the person go? Sometimes some people, all this demonstration of fingers, I call it counting 5. It helps me douse the anger of trying to respond to waka. We initiated waka in the first place. That is provoking people. I always see it as counting 5. Is it not 5? He just did you 5. And I allow the person go. The third scenario is you price an item and decide not to buy. The market woman suddenly says loudly, if you no get money, why you come price them? People around begin to look at you. The question is, do you react from embarrassment? Does public shame control your emotions? Can you walk away calmly? That's especially for the northerners. If I don't have money, I don't price. Because any amount you price, to save themselves that shame and to test your seriousness in buying, they will say, yeah, bring money. And once they say bring money, you begin to tell another story. It provokes anger. So I will check myself before I price at all. I don't do window shopping for northerners because their anger can be something else. And even if it is in Lagos or some other places where you know that people can react negatively, as much as we can, let's prevent this kind of scenario so that we don't get into a dire situation of how do you react? Oh, I am ashamed. But last week, we did say, if such happen, just walk away calmly, irrespective of what the public may think, so that you don't engage in unnecessary altercation. Scene 4, public disrespect from a friend. If a friend makes a humiliating joke about you in public, everyone laughs. The question is, do you retaliate instantly? Do you pretend not to care? Do you address it privately? And of course, questions came up from this about somebody being asked or apologizing privately. How do the person go to now apologize publicly when the issue happened and it was adequately addressed? Of course, it's coming from a friend, not an enemy. So why will you pick an offense? See it as one of those jabs you throw at yourself, and maybe meet each other and see how you can douse that tension. Scene 5, the queue cutter. The queue cutter. Someone walks into a long queue and stands in front of everybody. The question is, how do you confront wrong behavior calmly? Can you speak firmly without aggression? How do you deal with this situation? And of course, we got so many responses to that. Someone says she will go and approach the person and ask the person to fall back in line. Other person say, I will block the person from overtaking me. Of course, but as a re-engineered mind, you are not the only person. Of course, there will be other. Sometimes you don't even have to be the first, because you are not the only person on the line. There are other people. And sometimes some other people even help you fight your battle. Some others will come and say, why is it now? Why are you doing that and all that? And that will be dealt with. And scene 6, family provocation. At a family gathering, a relative says, so now that you have small money, you have changed. Another has, you think you are successful now. Everyone laughs slightly, but you can sense envy and mockery behind the words. Most people will defend themselves immediately. Others will bring past sacrifices and struggle. Others will start proving their successes. The question is, would you stay calm? Would staying calm feel like weakness to you? What is the emotional intelligence response here? What is the emotional response here? So these are the sins. These are the sins that we find ourselves in our daily lives. Of course, in all of this, what is important is your peace of mind. Don't mortgage your peace of mind for anything. You are not here to please anybody. I always tell people, my principle is my conscience and my God, because you can never please everybody. That's the irony of life. So just do your best and do what? Leave the rest. Scene 7, you post something online and someone comments, this is nonsense. Another says, clown. Even with many positive comments, your attention becomes fixed on these, either fixed or fixated on the insults. Most people will reply immediately in anger, start arguing in the comment section, insult the person back. The question is, would you respond or ignore it? Would you feel the need to defend yourself publicly? What is the emotional intelligence response here? Of course, we've been seeing cases like that. You see somebody will be insulting down to the 4th and 5th generation of the person you cannot even see. It's just the comments. Just read down, pass. Thank you very much for this session.